All right, y'all. I wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit more about your project. So I wanted to kind of hit some of the highlights of things that I think that you might mess up on or forget to do. So at this point, remember your project stuff was due Monday, which is March the 16th, for the visual part of your project. So at this point, you should already have your equations. You should have already graphed it on to your graph paper, and then you should have been creating your picture around that and coloring and getting it all ready and all that kind of good stuff. So on March the 16th, remember that's when you're going to take a picture, or before March 16th, you'll take a picture of your project and you're going to upload it in Google Classroom so that I can give you some feedback on that, so that you have some time to make any tweaks if you have to, before the final project is completely due. So this is kind of a checkpoint. If you do not turn something in on March 16th, keep in mind I will put in a missing in the computer and it will calculate a 0 in the grade book. All right, so just stay on top of your game. All right, so you should already have your project stuff, but I want to remind you of the rubric. All right, so when you look at the rubric and the instructions, make sure that you're coloring and that you're doing things neatly. One of the things that came up with a lot of students is you're plotting points, but you're not really plotting points. You're kind of just looking at Desmos and you're like, oh, I'm going to curve it, and you're kind of eyeballing it. But if you click the screen in Desmos, like literally click the screen, then it will tell you points that are on your graph. Some of them are decimals, but try to look for the ones that are whole numbers. You know, where does it touch one of those little points? You know, like where the squares come together on the graph. Where does it touch? And try to get some pretty accurate points so that your graph will be more accurate. If you're not doing that, you're going to get slopey looking graphs and it's going to look kind of funny. All right, and then I'm going to start taking off points because it's not neat, your graphing wasn't done properly, you know, things like that. Make sure that you don't have a bunch of empty space or white space. You can have white space, but there shouldn't be just a blank picture, all right, or a whole lot of dead space. So make sure that you have labeled your x-axis. Make sure you've labeled your y-axis. Make sure that your functions are labeled, okay, with whatever the equation is of that function. Make sure that it's in standard form. So a lot of y'all have been working in factored or intercept form because that really does help in terms of getting things where you want it on the graph, but you still have to give me the standard form equation. So you can multiply it out. You can Google polynomial multiplier, and then it will, you know, do the work for you essentially, because for this project, it's not really about whether or not you can multiply it. I'm really looking for your characteristics. All right, so those are important things for the actual picture. All right, again, if you have questions, email me, message me through Remind, show up to our Google Meets, and so that you can, you know, get those questions taken care of. Remember, you can get some extra bonus points if you have a function with a degree higher than 2. So a cubic or quartic function, something like that. You can also get additional points if you have more than 2 functions. So you can have more than 3, but really you only get bonus points for having that one additional function. So if you can get 3, then that would be awesome. Also, you get additional points if your project super wows me. So, and I'm picky, but I'm gonna pick the top 5 from each class, and then I'll post them and everybody will vote. All right, so it does have to be turned in on time in order to be a part of that super wow. Okay, so I'll post them and people can vote which one they think is the best, and the top one will earn 5 bonus points, the next 4 bonus points, and the next one 3 bonus points. So altogether, if you do all the different bonus opportunities, you can earn 115 for your project, which is awesome. So if you take a look at the rubric right here, all right, you have your project paper, so look at that. It's also on Google Classroom if you need the electronic form. But when you look at this, it's asking, you know, all these questions, you know, is the equation provided and is it graphed correctly? Did you write the equation on your poster with the appropriate function? All of those things. And you have the project paper separately, but this is the rubric. So just really pay attention. Each thing counts a little here and there, right? So every single equation gets some points. Now all together, you know, like most of these are 5 points. So you can get 2.5 points per function. and then there would be I'd add the points if you got the bonus points. In order to earn the bonus points, it does have to be done correctly. All right, so just pay attention. That's all I can say. All right, pay attention and you'll be fine and you'll get all kinds of good points. All right.
Zachariah Addison, you're in the main office. Zachariah.